Hi, this is Wishop. Welcome to your new moon in Aquarius video for February 8th, 2016. It also happens to be the Chinese New Year, which is the year of the monkey, which is bold and adventurous and fun-loving, but willing to take some risks. And I think that's a great example for the year ahead. This is the second time I'm doing this video because I did it before and I had talked about a couple different subjects as I went along. Well, once I turned off the camera, I looked at the foundation cards to put them in the description as I usually do. And I realized that the message I had spent the most time on wasn't the one that the cards had most strongly. And so I wanted to go back, excuse me, give myself the chance to rephrase it for you and give you a chance to get the stronger message. So the first message I want to say is that during the month of February, love is all around us, and it does not come in one shape or form, regardless of what cultural messages you may get about what it's going to look like and act like and be like. That's not all there is. And it is not a definition of your success or failure as a person because you have what looks like the quote-unquote perfect Valentine or because you have no Valentine. That's not really what this time of year is about. This time of year is the month of love, most certainly, because it's halfway through winter and all the little baby animals are being created right now. Some things I look online, I look at show an owl, a great horned owl that's just laid her eggs, which will hatch in the spring. The wolves are mating and they will have their babies hatch in the spring. And all that is going on. It is the love that the world shows for us. And you may feel some of that striving and yearning within yourself. Don't make it have to only go into one kind of channel, because it's such a creative time of year where new life is being birthed in so many ways, and Aquarius is all about new ideas, that just don't limit yourself to one definition. Really open up, because I think a lot of the work that many of us have been doing over the last few years is all about opening up our perceptions to different ideas and different messages and different ways of feeling and being than we ever thought before. So with that in mind, let's go on to the cards. The tarot cards are from the Hoi Polloi deck, which is basically a party game from the 70s, the Whimsical Tarot by Mary Hanson Roberts and Dorothy Morrison, and the Zircus Magi deck by Doug Thornsjoe of Duck Soup. So I flipped these, and yes, I know what they are because I already did this, but they're all in reverse, which for many people signifies, pay attention. This is kind of important. Not only are they all in reverse, we have two major arcana cards. And not just two major arcana, the same major arcana cards, which is justice in reverse. Now, one thing I think is highly interesting about this reading is this justice, even though it's sort of a Rider-Waite clone, all the pictures look like Rider-Waite, this still has justice in the 8 position, not the 11. Rider-Waite put 11 like where Libra would fall in the order of the year. This still has it at 8. And that relates this justice intimately to the strength card in my mind. And we have this big lion in this 2 of Rods card. So I'm going to get to that. So this one titles justice adjustment. Okay, so here's this tightrope with the unicycle and the sword and the scales. Adjustment is the title that I think is also used in the Thoth deck, I believe. I might be wrong on that, but I think so. So we've got 2 justice in reverse. What does that mean? that means a serious lack of balance, yes. But it also points to the resolution to the problem, which is to say that divine justice exists. There is an order of things, right? Just like there's an order of the babies being born in springtime, that whether or not, you get a heart-shaped box of chocolates or buy them for somebody, the fact is the little chicks and bunnies that we're going to see, they're happening right now. And that is the order of things. And that underlying order of things can bring us a lot of strength if we tap into the harmony of that. And it can be a lot of comfort to us. But right now, if you're experiencing great internal development, I feel for myself, I'm really going through some things. And I don't mean in a bad way. It's very exciting. But I really don't know where it's all going to lead. And you may be experiencing that sense too and feel out of balance. And when you are out of balance, you can look backward at the things you used to take for granted about yourself. Well, at least I know I'm a good gardener. Or at least I know no matter what happens, I have XYZ to fall back on. And as you look to fall back on those things, they're not there. You can even experience a sense, I know that this happens with people. If you're going through a spiritual awakening, your previous spiritual gifts can depart you for a little bit. They're not gone. They're going to come back. But while everything is all unsettled, you have to reintegrate into a new version of yourself that includes all the new stuff and all the old stuff. And while that's happening, you're like a smoothie in a blender. We can't tell what's going on. So I do think that the justice cards in reverse, which I said the first time I did this, are about giving yourself the time to let things settle. They haven't settled. There is an underlying order. There is an underlying justice, but you can't see it right now. It may be that if you can see a disorder or an imbalance or an injustice in your world, you're frustrated because you can't solve it right away. Let's get to this Two of Rods in reverse. In the whimsical tarot, this is the story of the lion who gets caught and the little mouse has to save him. We are the little mice, right? And we can think of the lion as being our strength, our will, our spirit. And we want to set it free, but we're also a little afraid to let it loose. But even if we do decide to let it loose and we screw up our courage and we do it, you can see that this little mouse is going to have to nibble away quite a bit before there's room for the lion to break free. But it is the mouse that will free the lion, if that makes any sense. It is your small actions. It is your determination. It is the courage you have, like I was talking about the widow's mite in the last video, how the widow's mite is you invest this small amount because that's all you have, and it makes a huge difference. Here we have that again in the Two of Rods. Now, the Two of Rods or the Two of Wands can also be seen as a decision card and frequently is seen as a card about a decision. To me, the fact this is in reverse is saying you don't need to remake your decision. You don't need to redecide. You're not going down the wrong path just because everything seems unbalanced and strange. You're going through a very important transition, and you got to concentrate on the small things. You got to concentrate on trying to keep yourself balanced as best you can. You know, it's not going to be easy, but try to enjoy this ride a little bit. So when I pulled the Oracle card, I pulled an Oracle card from the Oracle of Shadows and Light. I got a clockwork pumpkin, a wonderful idea, the aha moment, which is very new moon in Aquarius, right? Inspiration and a divine inspiration, something tremendous comes to you and you start working on it. but you're probably not going to see the results of it exactly right away. Oh, they're coming. I mean, it's not long until we see those shoots of spring. The first flowers will be showing up by the end of this month, as we sort of head towards the spring equinox, and we head towards Easter, and we head towards all of those celebrations of new birth. But right now, those seeds, that's what this is. This is the seed. So you may have some crazy new idea that you never, ever had before. And it is going to upset the apple cart of everything that you already thought you knew. And when you look backwards at the quote unquote security that you've given up to get to this point, you may feel really strange and afraid. And for a moment, you may lose your brave heart. It's not going to last if you feel that moment. You are going to find your feet. You really will. And when you do, it's going to be so worthwhile, because it's going to be for something amazing and new. It's not going to be for the stale old status quo. It's not going to be to uphold any institutions that aren't working. You're not going to uphold things that have become unsuitable. And really, the planets are about that now. They are definitely shaking up status quos that have become corrupt or unusable or unworkable. And you are going to be part of that. You're bringing forth your own truth. But to do that, you have to put up with feeling off balance. You just, unfortunately, you do. It's not easy, but you're going to get through it. And when you do, it's going to be worthwhile. When I was opening up these, I want to show you the foundation cards real quick so you can see what was giving me pause. Okay, so here's the Ten of Swords. Look at this. So we've got Humpty Dumpty falling off the wall. This is the foundation card of the Whimsical Tarot. Okay, ruined. Everybody gets very afraid of this card, but it's also the card of a cycle ending. And because it's swords, it's conceptual. Other people's ideas are not going to have the power to break you after this. Other people's imposed judgments aren't going to have the power to break you after this. Here's the foundation card. Three of Swords, same idea. These are self-inflicted swords. These are things you're putting through your own heart. You can take them out. You put them in, you can take them out. This is not the emotional pain of loss. This is the mental pain that we inflict upon ourselves, and that other people may inflict on us too. I don't want to say other people don't have anything to do with it, but these are things which, through time and healing, through getting your balance back and being brave, you can remove these. And the other thing, here's what we got for Zircus Magi, the sun. The sun. It's, the luckiest card in the deck. It's beautiful. It's bright. It shows everything about where we're going. But the work we're doing is very much in the mental realm, right? Justice, we've got these swords. Everything's got swords. We've got wands. This is in the spiritual and the mental realm. Right now, Earth is taking care of itself. The babies are hatching. The things are growing. But we got to get our heads right, and we got to get our hearts right to be ready to make the most of it. And the last thing I wanted to show you was, this was the foundation card of the Oracle deck, which was Voodoo in Blue, which is back off. She looks sweet, but she's plenty willing to tell people they need to step off. And that may be something you end up doing, because you are going through these adjustments and you're doing it for a good reason. So sort of the conventional wisdom might have to go by the wayside. And this one just kept opening up every time the deck would fall. And I wanted to end with it. Strange Valentine, love is strange. Let yourself accept love in whatever shape or form it comes. Express it in whatever way you feel it, toward whatever direction that needs to go. And realize that is the truth of love. And that is the truth of Valentine's. So have a great new moon in Aquarius and rock on with your bad selves.